the Maggot was a biker, and he drove his motorcycle very fast. Drove a big chop Pilot with a gang color jacket, and he ran down Citizens for laughs. He had an old lady named Petula who packed an automatic 45 gun. They had just come up from California where they'd shot 6 cops for fun. Jake, he thought it was the best there was, was down the interstate he saw, till the day he tangled with the county sheriff, who they all called 104. It was late on a Thursday evening, and Jake, he was feeling kind of mean, cause he'd just run out of his favorite drug, you know, the one called amphetamine. So we sauntered up to Petula, and he said, say, baby, let's split. There's a little gas station on down the road that might be fun to hit. So they drove up to the station, and they both jumped off of Jake's ride. They were up to derision at Jake's decision as they both saw to the inside. The attendant, he was an old man, and you know he didn't think it very funny. When Petula pulled out that great big gun, said, honey, give me all your money. Well, the old man opened up the cash drawer, and Jake grabbed the money and ran. With Petula out the door to the big chop Pilot that was parked on the center kickstand. Then they headed out for the 4-lane, and they thought it was lots of fun. With Jake on his hog, with Petula the dog, with the automatic 45 gun. Jake, he thought it was the best there was down the interstate he saw, till the day he tangled with the county sheriff, who they all called 104. The old man didn't think it very humorous, and you know he didn't like to get sassed, cause just that morning he had a cup of coffee with a cop named Pendergrast. But the old man had a lot of sense, and he knew just exactly what to do. He dropped a dime in the phone till he got the dial tone, and he talked to operator 42. Operator 42, she was the best, and she gave out the description of Jake the Maggot with the gang colors jacket and Petula with the 45 gun. Now it just so happens that Jake, he was headed for 522, where 104 was popped in the shade, thinking, baby, I'm waiting for you. Jake laughed and thought he had it made, but you should have seen the look in his eyes. When outside Monroe on 522, you know he got one hell of a surprise. Cause up ahead on the roadway, with a shotgun looking down the ball, was Sergeant Nichols with his finger on the trigger in the infamous 104. It was then the chase that had started, but Jake didn't think it very fun when it felt the blast at the spokes of his wheels from 104 shotgun.
Night Dreams Talk Radio, After Dark, wants to give a big shout out to all the truckers that listen to our show. Night Dreams Talk Radio Network brings you the World Paranormal News with James Creechbaum. Now, the latest news.
I'm James Creechbaum with the Paranormal and World Changes News. Well, Ohio ranks as one of the top states for Bigfoot sightings. Now, when many people hear the word Bigfoot, they automatically think of Washington or Oregon or the Northwest, Pacific Northwest. However, Ohio usually ranks third or fourth in the country in the number of reports annually from hunters, farmers, and people just living outside of the major cities. And they routinely report tall, bipedal ape-like creatures. UFO sightings triple in New York City in 2019. At least, according to 35 New Yorkers who reported UFOs in 2019, 3 times the 12 who called in close encounters the year before, with Manhattan and Queens had the most believers with 12 sightings each. A mystery blob of hot water has been found. Now, this mystery blob of hot water, which is vast swathe exhibiting an unexpectedly high temperature, has left scientists scratching their heads. Covering an area of over 1 million square kilometers, this huge patch of warm water is situated off the Pacific Ocean, around 800 kilometers off the coast of New Zealand. Also in New Zealand, glaciers. These glaciers are turning brown from the Australian brush fire smoke, ash, and dust. And these snow-capped peaks and glaciers are discolored, as the former PM says ash could accelerate the glacier melting. Also, one expert has said that the increase in the glacier melt this season may be as much as 30%. Bags of Alistair Crowley's house go on sale, as it has burnt down or has had a couple of fires. Current owners of the infamous occultist Loch Ness home are selling bags of its charred remains on eBay to recoup some money to help, I guess, for repairs. A possible triangle UFO sighting above Whitestown, New York. And this just happened that was on January 3rd. And there's actual footage of it, and the footage is a possible triangle formation was filmed over Whitestown, New York on January 3rd. Next news break, top of the hour.
You are listening to Night Dreams Talk Radio Network, from our compound to you worldwide, with your host, Gary Anderson.
Well, that is me. Well, I hope everybody had a great weekend. I'm just 2 days away from my birthday, and this is one birthday I really, really wish it was another 6 months away. Turning the big 68. Well, it's all almost, well, what can I say? I think about it and I just get flabbergasted. It seems like just yesterday, like I was telling my wife yesterday, I remember being 13 years old, cutting school, doing all the things a lot of 13-year-olds do. And it just seems like overnight, now I'm like one of the old men I used to make fun of. Anyway, James, who's our guest tonight, by the way?
Tonight is Rob Shelsky, and he'll be talking UFOs and different things that UFOs do or could do or may be doing.
Well, I know one thing we're going to be talking about with Rob is the deadly UFOs.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
Not the friendly ones that some people think they are.
No, and the deadly ones, you might only see them once, and then you might not even be around to talk about them.
You might get a free ride.
You may get a free ride, all right. You might get a free a diet where you lose weight real quick, too, or get invited to dinner.
I was just going to say that. You could be invited to dinner on that nice spacecraft. They'll take you into that real nice fancy kitchen, and they'll, here's a table for you. Uh-huh. Okay. Well, hey, you need to lay down on this table. I don't know. A lot of people go missing.
Yeah, and we've had a few people on here that were abducted, and while they were abducted, they seen other people that they didn't know where they were from on this same craft that they were abducted on. So that tells you that they've got some kind of agenda where they're taking people from all over, and some are coming back and some aren't.
Even from Nebraska?
Even from Nebraska, I know.
I know. And I shouldn't make fun of it. But I tell you, a lot of people go missing. And this is the thought of being insecure now, because are you safe in your own bed, in your own front room, watching TV, or even driving in the car, or just going for a walk out in the woods? It seems like you're not safe. But what can I say? There is something out there, and I don't want to find out. But anyway, that's why we got guests talking about it. And we got some good guests coming up all the way through February on UFOs, let alone a little bit on Bigfoot, a little bit on time travel. And we got everything covered. By the way, our listenership, James, has exploded.
Or did we top 20 yet?
I'm hoping to be on the top 20. The last I looked, we're right around under the 100 range. But going through and checking our show with some of the other shows, we're just right there with them, if not even better than some of the ones that's been around 12, 13, 14 years. I think it's because the content we offer, the guests we have on and all that.
Well, the root of any good show is having a good guest with good content. Seriously, I think that's the root of it. We've proved it to ourselves time and time over the last 2 years with their own little in-house experiments, so to speak. And I have seen some of those bar scales comparing some of the major shows with ours, and the popularity, we're more popular than some of the bigger name stuff.
Yeah, isn't that kind of interesting? And it
is.
only happened recently. You know, it took 2 years for all this to happen. But all of a sudden, like, somebody turned the light switch and they discovered us.
Yeah, it was like somebody put a jolt, and next thing you know, we went from so-so to we're more popular in some of on those apps, and I read those bar scales, so they don't lie. I mean, it's not making this stuff up.
And some of the radio stations, like, in San Diego, they told me that we're now like the number one show in the evening, talk show. So what can I say? It's crazy, isn't it? We must be doing something right. It must be like the wacky news. Like the deputies come to this house because the neighbors called the police, right? And saying somebody is crying for help. Could you imagine the police barging into somebody's house, right? All these, deputies and all this stuff to find out it was nobody yelling for help. It was a parrot.
It was one, who that reminds me. It reminds me of you with your McCall and saying things like somebody real close came in one day and the McCall was saying things about him like, hey, how do you learn to say that about me? But yeah, that's comical. Hey, listen, they pick up on what they hear. So if you teach them the wrong thing to say, they're going to say it. If it's something that, a neighbor or somebody thinks somebody's in distress, they're going to call the cops.
Yeah, help me. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, but my wife has not this the macabre. She has some other parrots, but you never know what they're going to say. I mean, you can sit there and try to get them to say a word, and if you talk to them for 20 minutes, they'll kind of do it. But, they just speak their own mind. Now, the macabre has gotten smart enough. When you go to leave the house, it'll say bye-bye. So it knows you're leaving, and when you come in, it'll say hi. And then he'll say, where's Dr. Pepper?
Where's Dr. Pepper? At the store still.
Yeah, probably. I don't drink Dr. Pepper. But what I hate is when I sit there and I forget. And I'll have the cell phone in my pocket and I hear a ring. So I quickly pull the cell phone out of my pocket. Then I realize it wasn't ever my cell phone. It was the macabre.
He's got your number. Wait till the macabre there picks up on your wife's voice and fools you that way.
Well, for a long time before my dog passed, it picked up, it sounded identical to my dog Freeway. So, I'd be in the bedroom and all of a sudden and Freeway, I'd forget. He was, sleeping on the end of the bed. But I hear, across the house, Freeway, barking. So I figured something's up. I go, it wasn't Freeway. Freeway was sound asleep. It was the macabre.
The macabre messing with you, making you go from one end of the house to the other.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know what? Some escaped pigs, visit a grocery store. Now, did they go for the food? Did they go for the bread? Did they go for anything other than liquor? No, they went straight to the liquor aisle and got snockered.
My question is, did they at least take the liquor with them, or they just sat there and got drunk in the store? They get caught again.
I don't know. Oscar Mayer is looking for a new hot dogger to travel in the Weenie Mobile.
That just sounds all wrong. They're looking for a new hot dogger to travel in the Weenie Mobile.
Yeah,
I hope they got an all-point bulletin out there or something. Gee.
I'm surprised that sucker is still running.
Yeah, it's one way of putting it. Yeah, I agree with you on that one.
I don't know.
I don't either.
Well, Maine firefighters rescue a horse from a frigid creek.
Oh, I seen where they got somebody, or I think it was a dog in Canada, but it seems like every year there's horses or dogs or something falling through the ice and getting rescued. And people don't realize firemen put their lives on the line just to rescue these animals as well as people.
Oh, yeah, they do. Well, a high school team